Hi everyone, my name is Shelley. I'm the worship pastor from Oak Park Church of Christ. For today's Devo, I want to talk about a story from Matthew 14. It's the story of Jesus walking on water. Matthew 14, verses 25 to 31. During the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went out to them, walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. "It's a ghost," they said, and cried out in fear. But Jesus immediately said to them, "Take courage, it is I. Don't be afraid." "Lord, if it's you," Peter replied, "tell me to come to you on the water." "Come," Jesus said. Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came toward Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and, beginning to sink, cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. "You of little faith," he said, "why did you doubt?" So we have the disciples on a boat in the middle of the lake, and they see Jesus coming towards them, walking on the water. And at first they're afraid, but he calls out to them, and he calms their fears. And then Peter calls out to him, saying, "Lord, if it's you, tell me to come to you." And Jesus says, "Come." In that moment, Jesus is saying to Peter, "Yes, it's me, the Lord. I am doing something miraculous. And not only can you trust that it's me, but you can join me here." So Peter trusts. He starts to walk, and he does the miraculous. He joins Jesus on the water. But then he starts to look around. He sees the waves crashing around him, coming at him from all sides. He sees the wind howling, pushing these waves. He sees how high they're getting, and he becomes afraid. And he starts to doubt, and he starts to sink. When we look around us at the world right now, we see panic, we see anxiety, we see over-exaggerated fear. And when we focus on these things, like when Peter focused on the waves, we start to sink because we start to doubt. We doubt God's goodness. We doubt his sovereignty. We doubt his ability to get us through these circumstances. Doubting and sinking go hand in hand. And when we start to sink, we sink into despair, and we sink into hopelessness, and we sink into fear. I can say this with confidence. We will not make it through this by looking at the world around us. We will make it through this by fixing our eyes on Jesus. By taking our eyes off of the waves and fixing them on the one that we can trust. The story finishes with Jesus, as Peter is sinking, reaching out and grabbing him by the hand. And as he pulls Peter back up onto the water, he says, "Ye of little faith, why did you doubt?" Why do we doubt God's goodness? Why do we doubt that he can save us from sinking? We don't need to. He can. Friends, now is the time to have faith. Now is the time to cast aside our doubt and to trust God completely. Picture now, you may feel like you're sinking, but look, there's Jesus holding out his hand. His eyes are kind. His demeanor is calm. If you take his hand and trust him, he will not let you sink. "Trust me, my child," he says. "I am peace in the storm. I am hope in this despair. I am the light that shines in the darkness. Take my hand and listen to my voice, and you will walk on water." Amidst the waves, amidst the wind, we can see his hand reaching down to hold ours. So what is Jesus calling you to in this time? What is the water that he wants you to walk upon? In this time of uncertainty, Jesus is calling us to fix our eyes on him. He is calling us out onto the water, calling us to trust him even in the midst of the waves. It is this voice that we need to listen to right now. This voice will not let us sink. So listen to it. Fix your eyes on him, and he will lift you from the waves so that you may walk on water, walk above your circumstances, and walk through this storm in peace.